All right. Hello, all. Welcome to yet another episode of Candid Talks. As you know, this is a show that talks about the story between can and did. Many of us want to achieve a lot of things and we think we can, but only a few of us actually go out there and do it. I am extremely honored to have someone on the show today, something that I have been personally following as a story for a long, long time. One of the best success stories of how Indian companies can perhaps compete with some of the larger giants that come from outside from the Western world to India. I have Mr. Kumarvel, who is the co-founder and CEO of Natural Salons, the name that perhaps all of you can identify. I don't have to explain what Naturals does. The moment I say this, already some of my viewers and my listeners would have a smile on their face because that's exactly what they do. They put smiles on people's faces. Sir, it's an
Mhm.
honor to have you on my show. Thank you so much for giving me time.
Absolute pleasure, Teja. It's my pleasure to meet you and through you reach so many people. And I can't ask for anything better.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, COVID, and a lot has happened the last 6 to 8 months, sir. And I was just reading an article the other day in Hyderabad that more than 90 spas and salons in Hyderabad are put up for sale. And people are crying that there are not enough people coming back to salons. Right. So let me start and get the elephant out of the room right away. How is Naturals doing, sir? What are you doing differently?
Yeah, life is difficult and life is different, but that's the new normal. When the situation is, when your mind is weak, situation will look like a problem. When
Right.
your mind is normal, same situation will look like a challenge.
Right.
When your mind is strong, same situation will look like an opportunity.
Absolutely. Wow. I love that.
Corona is the new thing which is nobody is aware, none of the country is aware, companies are not aware, individuals are not aware, and even the families are not aware of how to handle, because nobody knew the depth and the breadth of the problem.
Right.
And that's exactly how the life was. And ours is no different. But fast forward 1 year and 3 months now from now, which is 2021 December. 70% of the people will say, hey, my life was good, and corona came. Because of that, my company has reduced my salary, or sent me home. Or some business people will say, hey, my business was going well, corona came and my people have gone, customers are not coming now, government is not helping. And that's the thing the 70% of the people will say. But 30% of will say people will say, hey, thank you, corona, and because of you, I have learned some new skill. And because of the new skill, I have become far more contributive to the company. And the company has now raised my salary 2 times. I'm very happy. And some companies will say, hey, because of Corona, before Corona, I was running very fast. I was not knowing what all the challenges. When you are running fast, there are so many problems around you. It gave me a time to pause, correct few of my mistake, learn some new tricks, drop some new services, and introduce some new things. And because of that, I have become far more profitable. And that's what the 30% of the people will say. The difference is we need to reinvent physically, reinvent mentally, reinvent financially, and reinvent business models. And those are the people who are going to be successful in Corona. When it comes to salon business, before Corona, people used to look at the brand name, the plush interiors. The stylist will play a very important role. Type of products I'm using, the promotion, the price, and whether it is near my office or home. That was the criteria they used to select a salon. But after COVID, only one criteria: is it safe for me? Earlier, we used to use standard operating procedures for doing all our service. Now it is called Operation Standard Protocol. Imagine you are going into a hospital. That is so much the care we are taking when a customer is coming to the salon.
Wow.
Even the asymptomatic customer and the smile provider, we call them the smile provider, will not transmit to one person to another. That's that much care we are taking. However, the customer is still not ready, especially the women folks are still not coming out. There is a fear, there is a what you call need is not very this thing, and lot of people are staying home. Because of that, the salon business is in trouble at this point of time. However, we need to, this is hanging on power. Tough times never last, tough people do. Whoever has got the nerve and the strength to hang on for another 6 months will reap great rewards. But in the meanwhile, we need to survive. I have introduced safety kits. I have used to introduce, this is one of my product, handy
Wow.
sanitizers. Okay, I've introduced the wipes. This is the disinfectant wipes. I've introduced disinfectant spray. I've introduced masks, 3-layer mask, 5-layer mask, and the safety first has become the new mantra for us, and that's something which we have done. The second one is we have introduced home service now. Earlier, the people used to come to the, if what do you call, Muhammad is not coming to the mountain, mountain will go to Muhammad. So now we are going to the customers customers and what do you call, attending to them. That's the second thing we have done. And I have also recently launched something called Namma Cafe. It's called Mera Cafe.
I've
It is
heard
a
that.
it
Yes.
is a tea for 10 yeah, it is a tea for 10 rupees. Large opportunity, business at the bottom of the pyramid. And that's exactly what we have done. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And that's what we are doing at this point of time.
So one, I've heard you talk a few other occasions, and I must admit, I'm a huge fan of your one-liners. Sir, whenever you find time from your busy schedule, please copyright these because these are very, very powerful. I must tell you this. You can perhaps launch a book someday with all your one-liners. But that aside, that was on a lighter note.
But coming to that, I don't want to copy the patent the copyright the one liner. My father was the person who introduced the sachet shampoo, and his primary business was to buy pharma products in bulk and put it in small packets and distribute to medical shops.
Right.
He was a very curious man, very innovative man. He used to do a lot of new things. One day he went to Singapore to attend an exhibition, and he was carrying a Tata bottle shampoo in his suitcase. Fortunately for him and unfortunately for him, for him, fortunately for us, the bottle broke and soiled his entire dress. Instead of blaming the Tata bottle maker or the oil or the suitcase maker, he said, "Hey, here is a problem. Can I fix it and convert to an opportunity?" And that's called entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is your ability to think different. Can you look at a problem and say, here is an opportunity? Then you are ready for entrepreneurship. Remember, I told you my father bought pharma products in bulk and put it in small packets. And he connected the dots and he said, why can't I make also shampoo in small packets? He made his own machine, made his own formulation, packed India's first sachet shampoo and launched it and called it Velvet. India Today came out with an article about 50 revolution which changed India after independence. And my father's sachet innovation was number 8. He said something very interesting. He said, what a rich person is able to enjoy, the poor person should be able to afford. That is when somebody asked him, why not you patent it? He said, no, I don't want to patent it. This sachet should reach more products. That is what is the success of the patent, what do you call the product, not to restrict to one product. So when you say copyright, I said, no. My father taught us, don't copyright. Knowledge should not be copyrighted. It should be allowed free flow. More knowledge and wealth should be shared. The more you share, more you reach, you become more powerful. And that's
You sound like Nicholas Tesla to me, who's never patented anything, any of his inventions ever. So thank you for that inspiration. You said something about entrepreneurship and making it happen during tough times and making problems into solutions. Another thing that I observed about your response when I asked you the first question is also entrepreneurs think ahead and work reverse. They work backwards. They do reverse engineering. I love the way you said, think 1 year, 3 months ahead. This is what I want my teams to say. And that perhaps is a lesson in itself in terms of how younger entrepreneurs should think and start looking at. So thank you for that message. I've always been curious about your business model, sir, because unlike most of the other businesses, you just didn't become an entrepreneur. You're enabling tons of women, thousands of women become entrepreneurs themselves. What's your inspiration? I'm curious to know why. You obviously come from an entrepreneurial background, but you didn't have to do this. This need not have been your line of work. What motivated you to make livelihoods for so many women entrepreneurs across India?
Yeah, actually, 3 women. The first woman is obviously my mother. It started 41 years before when I was 13-year-old. My father died. And next day morning, my mother called all 6 of us and told, from today, I'm going to be your father and mother. As a 13-year-old boy, I did not even have a grasp of what he's trying to say. All I could realize is family is in some kind of trouble. That much only I can understand. But for the next 35 years, she did exactly that. She played the role of father and mother to us. She ran the business, she ran the agriculture, she ran a school, she ran a bakery, she made a tailoring unit, she danced, she sang, she ensured all six of us are not only safe, also successful. Here is a ninth standard Telugu medium woman who came to Tamil Nadu, could not even speak much Tamil and English at that point of time. At 42-year-old, lost her husband with 6 children. Life is full of problem, but she took charge of the life. And that has given us great inspiration for us. If she can do it, why not with so much women who are educated, who have got so much talent, and who are in a far favorable situation? Why are they not doing it? And that became my mission. And that brings me to the second woman, which is my role model, Anita Roddick of Body Shop. Me and Veena heard her story in an audio cassette. We went to London. We wanted to bring Body Shop to India in the late 90s. She spent time with us and she showed her entire place and the business plan. And she told India is not ready. And she also told you are not ready. Anita Roddick's story is very interesting. She said in her audio, this thing, she said, me and my husband, Gordon Roddick, will run a restaurant and the restaurant will fail. And after that, Gordon Roddick will say that I want to pursue my childhood ambition, which is moving from London to New York in a horseback, leaving the 6-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old daughter and the wife alone. And Anita Roddick says so beautifully, till such time I thought there are some work what men can do, and there are some work what women can do. When my husband was not there, I started doing all the work. There is no big deal. And the third inspiration is obviously my wife again, Veena. Her refusal to continue as a housewife was the beginning of the brand Naturals. Veena could have easily stayed home and glorified herself as a homemaker, or she could have what you call sought a job. She was very persistent. She said, I want to become an entrepreneur. Both our kids have started going to school, and there was some time available with her, which we wanted to put into use and make 60,000 rupees a month. And that was the beginning of the brand Naturals. Had she wanted to be a housewife, there is nothing I could have done about it. Even if the whole world believes in you, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody can help you. On the contrary, even if the whole world doesn't believe in you, if you believe in yourself, nobody can stop you. That self-belief, every woman should have. Society is like a bird. Men and women are its two wings. The bird cannot fly with one wing. And India, the bird is trying to fly for too long. I think India may have got independence in 1947. Indians have not, especially the Indian women, especially the financial independence. And that brings me to the next story, which is very one of my favorite special story. This happened when I opened my 8th salon in Coimbatore. I used to go there every month to meet my franchise partner and the customers. And my partner introduced to a lady. He said, this is the family which used to spend 5,000 rupees every month. I said, thank you very much for your patronage. And she asked me, I used to come with my family every month twice, only for this natural salon. I am from Karur. Why not I open in Karur? This Anita Roddick told, no, you are not ready. India is not ready. I have to give it to somebody. I told, ma'am, Karur is not ready. But she said, do a market survey. Before I could do a market survey, she identified a place. She invited me to her house. I went to Karur, saw the place. I liked the place. Then she invited me to her house. I walked into her house. There was a BMW on the left-hand side and a Mercedes-Benz on the right-hand side and few more small cars. I told myself, why is this lady wanting to open a natural salon? Anyway, I went inside, met her husband and 2 sons, 2 daughter-in-laws. I told myself, 30 lakh loss also will not affect this family. Chalo, let us open. We opened. 1 year later, she called me and she said, thank you. I said, for what? She said, this month I have made 50,000 rupees profit. I said, good, ma'am, you can make up to 2 lakhs. It will be very useful for you. That was my mistake. She said, no, sir, I don't have money problem. At any given point of time, my house will have 10 lakhs in cash, jewelry and document extra. But for any money I spend, I need to give accounts to my husband and to my 2 sons. This is my money. I can use the way in which I want. I said, you have made my day. The best fashion statement you can make is standing on your own legs. I think financial independence for women is the most crucial one. Even the working women give money to the husbands. and the money goes to the wine shop and for unnecessary things. I think women needs to become financially independent. Only then you can pride India to be independent. Otherwise, there is no, it is only half independence. It will not work.
In fact, I've always, as even growing up, I've always taken offense to the statement when people say behind every successful man, there is a woman. I take offense to that because I think it's still chauvinistic in the way we
Absolutely.
present women. Behind every, actually, the story of every successful man starts with a woman that's walking ahead and pulling this guy with her, right? That's what I
The
believe in
story
always.
of not every woman, the story of every family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our elders have said this quite often in Telugu and Tamil. We have a lot of sayings where it says, you teach one woman how to study, you make her educated, she'll light up 100 homes, right? And you are doing that. So kudos to you and Mrs. Kumarvel as well for doing this
Not
fantastic
Mrs.
job.
Kumaravel. She is not called Mrs. Kumaravel. When I am called Mr. Veena, then only I have the right to call Mrs. Kumaravel. Okay, she is called. Okay, she is. That is one way
I'll
of
correct.
society's way. Yeah, that is society's way of telling women that you need to hang on either your father's name or a husband's name. Who said?
Absolutely. I'll stand corrected on that. It's ironic that I just spoke about the role of a woman and I ended up with the stereotype. So thank you for correcting me. So, I'm curious to know this, right? So how can today, in a tough world, and tell me more about your new venture, because the moment you just mentioned a little bit, I got excited to hear that. Namma Cafe as a name is, it touches your heart because this is the way you name that is fantastic. How can entrepreneurs, be it women or anybody, how can they get onto this? How can you make them entrepreneurs with this venture? Sir? Tell us a little more about that.
No, Namma Cafe is called Namma Cafe in Tamil Nadu, Mana Cafe in Andhra, Mera Cafe in the Hindi belt, Namada Cafe in Kerala, and like that. So we want to regionalize it. Okay,
Wow.
India is a large country. Actually, it's a 20-country combination. It's the United States of India.
Right.
So having said that, the idea came in because in the Corona time, so many people have lost job. Or people have now realized there is a need for a second income. In our father's time, only our father used to work. Mother used to take care of the home. That is how our life used to be.
Right.
Then that is where 5 children, 6 children, 8 children were all there. Then our time came. Okay, then husband and wife. Okay, and then both started working. We needed a double income to sustain the lifestyle and the this thing what we are going through. Today, after the corona, each person require double income. There has to be one income, which is your salary income or your business income. You need to find another part-time income. I think that is the need of the hour, because the corona has come and rudely interrupt most of the people, because we were all dependent on one income or something like that, or two income. Both the people are working now. There is no job. Family is in trouble. So many things. I think the time for each of us to realize that we need an alternative income. So what can be the alternative income? It can be a business. Today, to risk so much of money is very difficult, because one, we don't have money, two, we don't have the mindset to do. Then it has to be a small investment. Then it has to be an investment which is large enough. I was always fascinated by my father's that business at the bottom of the pyramid. Then only it is large. So we thought that we have now organized the salon industry. What can we look at? Then we thought, in everywhere people are drinking tea road, there is no problem. That business is happening. But the problem is, earlier they used to drink with the glass tumbler, glass, this thing that is no more hygienic. There is no what do you call, variety is not there. There is only same tea, same coffee, one or three way this thing is there. There is no what do you call, local standardization is not there. So I put hygiene, I put the varieties, and I put the localness to the picture, and I used my franchise model, which is what we have been doing for the last 20 years, and leveraged the franchise model and told the people that I will give you a business model for 6 lakhs. You find a place, it is plug and play. Tea starts from 10 rupees. Okay, and if you just put the board in the first 1 month, only break even will come. And some non-glamorous businesses actually are far more profitable than the so-called glamorous businesses. We all want glamour business. We want to open a pub. We want to open a what you call a lifestyle in a shop in a mall. Okay, these are not profitable. What is profitable is business at the bottom of the pyramid. Nothing over Corona's father also can't disturb this market. We anyway, there is groceries, fruit shop, medical shop, and these kind of things are the greatest opportunities. So I said I will take one of them and do 10,000. Why should a Starbucks come to India? I'm asking. You think we can't make a coffee? Indians can make much better coffee and much better tea. But let us understand the Westerners know how to make the coffee making into a systems and process. We feel it is a secret and we keep it among ourselves. We don't want to share. We only keep our relatives employed. Whereas a Westerner is able to put systems and process and scale an idea. And that's exactly what I want to do with this.
And by the way, sir, Namma Cafe or Mana Cafe, because I'm from Hyderabad, Telugu, is no way a cheaper or a small scale business, because tea gave us a prime minister. So I think so. I'm sure this tea will give a lot of people livelihoods. In fact, I am already gung ho, and to know more, I'll probably get in touch with your team about this that I've been contemplating as well the last few days. Thank you.
Namacafe.in.
I will definitely. I'll connect with Deepak as well. I am on this right after this call. So thank you for sharing those details. Uh, Sir, when you look at how are you supporting all your women entrepreneurs within your franchisee model right now, either Lakme or anything that you're doing currently, what are you doing to support them during this pandemic? Because people are not coming back, right? In most places, certain tier one cities, I think, uh, thanks to the additional security and safety features you've added to your salons, I think some people will probably now feel comfortable to come back. But how did you support your entrepreneurs during the lockdown? Just curious to know that.
No, that's. I always taken the difference between my business model and the other corporate brands is I have taken a parental approach towards franchising. That means the parent will not allow the child to struggle or suffer or in fact go out of business. And during the pandemic, we have supported people in the beginning stage financially, quite a few of them, because we thought it is going to end 1 or 2 months. But when it started expanding more than 3 months, all our resource and the ability to borrow everything finished. And then the business started slowly opening up and it's slowly picking up. And everybody started, our business model is royalty of 15%. That is our revenue for us. And with that, we take care of the back end, which is the training and the promotion, etc. And this thing. I said no more royalty for the next 3 months.
Wow.
So till September, we did not collect the royalty. After that, also we are now collecting concessional only. Whoever is doing well, little bit, you give me 5%, it is sufficient. Or 10,000 rupees, it is sufficient. First, you take care of yourself. When you are losing money, when you are bleeding, no point in me adding fuel to that fire. And quite a few of my franchise partners have pledged their jewelries to survive these times. This is not a joke, because this is a 450 plus women entrepreneur. They are very passionate about jewels. In India, jewelry people is not known for all the fancies. Whenever there is it's a liquidity also. Whenever there is a challenge, for women to pledge it, it's such a difficult this thing. And quite a few of them have done that. So my least I can do is to support them at this point of time, not to add fuel to the fire. Tell them I am there with you. Charge only very, very little, and then ensure my expense can be controlled at this point of time. Still support them digitally and give them the confidence. More than anything else, I speak to them often and give them the confidence. I think what is required is the confidence. If they gain the confidence, then they can overcome any problem at this point of time, because the problem is far, far, far. We don't know. I think that's realize that. So at this point of time, all I have to tell is I am with you. Come what may, we will what you call succeed as a team. It is only the tough times never lost. Tough people do, and that's what I tell my people.
Thank you. Thank you. Very interesting indeed. So I know we're coming towards the end of the show, but I am curious to ask you some questions. So what message do you have for the men when we talk about women empowerment and women being the backbone, the karta, karma, kriya, like what we say, of everything that happens in this universe, in this world. And yet we see women are still at home. Women are not opening up. There are enough talks about, how women should be empowered, but our women are still at home. What is your message for the men? when we talk about this?
My message to the men is look at me. Today I'm successful because of my wife and so many women franchise partners. Your life will become extremely easier and more bigger and better, not only for you, for everyone around. Take the women along, women around, because women are the best franchise partners. Had this been a men network, by now it would have collapsed, because men are, yeah, men are greedy. Men are very ambitious, and when it comes to trouble, they come what may. They don't care about others. They want this thing. Whereas when a women, you talk to them, they understand the plight and they are willing to hang on for a little longer time. And that little longer time is just that which is required for anyone. I think women are the beautiful things what the God has created. We all talk big things. Mother is beautiful. Aha, oho. We are saying, but in reality, we are not practicing it. I think my request to all my women, men folks, that please, for your own goodness, I am talking selfishly, for your own goodness and for the goodness of your family and for the goodness of the society. Utilize that women power. It has got so much talent and so much potential. And if you are able to, what do you call, make her realize that, she will be very happy and you will also be very happy.
Thank you. And what's your message for women, sir?
My message to women is very simple. You need to become more ambitious. You need to dream bigger dream. You are not here to assist other people in living their life. You are here to make your life too. Yes, relationship is very important. Being a good mother, being a good sister, being a good daughter, being a good daughter-in-law. All this is very important. But you have a more important relationship, which is the relationship with yourself. First, you should be happy with yourself. Then everything else follows. So my request to all the women is, don't be always in a compromising mode. Don't be always in a sacrifice mode. Take care of yourself first. In case of cabin pressure, drop in cabin pressure, individual oxygen mask will fall from the top. First, to pull it and take care of yourself before assisting others. My request to all the women folks is, please take care of yourself first. Then you can assist everybody in the world.
I am so going to show this to my mother tonight, because she would love every word that you're speaking, sir. So thank you for not just making my day, but I'm sure you will make my mother's day.
My mother is also from Andhra Pradesh, from Rajahmundry.
Very nice. So for all the listeners, all the viewers on podcast and YouTube channel, you must know this, that I've partnered with the authors. In fact, I chased them down when I heard about this book called Dhool, Dhoop and Dhakka. They call entrepreneurship is a matter of design. They've collected 14 amazing stories in that book. And Kumarvel sir's story is one of them. This is only a little bit of a tidbit from that. So I chased down the authors and I said, please partner with me. I would like to bring these entrepreneur story out through my podcast as well. So here we are. We had a lovely conversation. Thank you for your time, sir. But I won't let you go before asking you one question, though. Your story.
I want to answer. When taking cue from you, I want to say something.
Sure.
And which I recently read, which is about life is about 5 Ds. It is from doing to designing. When you said the word designing, life is about from doing to designing. In the beginning stage, we'll do a lot of doings, especially the self-employed, the doctors, the lawyers, the architects, and even the entrepreneurs and the people working. Doing is what we will all. But it is from the other 3 Ds when we cross, and when it becomes designing, that is where life becomes very beautiful. The second D is called dropping. Whatever is not required, drop it. Identify the list of work, what you should not be doing, and which is not helpful for your growth or for your business growth, drop it. The next D is called delegating. Identify what work needs to be delegated to others. That is what is very important. You can't do all the work if you have to make it bigger. You need to delegate it, you need to drop it, and you need to decide. You need to make certain decisions. Decisions of what to do, which business to enter in, which business you should not do, which is more, that is a decision. Then delegation, then dropping. When you all do that, you get into designing. And once you start about life should be about designing the life. And that is where you have really reached at the top. I'm very glad that life from doing should become designing. And that is where we should spend maximum time.
I have one request for you, sir. Like how you said, you'll never copyright your statements. Please never get into leadership training because people like me will be out of business. Because I love the analogy that you gave and the way you explained that. So coming back to Dhul, Dhoop and Dhakka, how do you relate your life and your journey and your experience to the title of the book? Because obviously your story has been reported in that book as well. How do you relate your own story with the title of that book, sir?
Can you? Well, unfortunately, we are from Tamil Nadu. We don't speak English, Hindi much. So if you can say what is Dhul, Dhoom, and Dhakka means?
So Dhul is dirt, right? Dhoop is sunshine, going out there, toiling under the sun. And Dhakka is the push that is required. I also had to, thankfully, I come from Hyderabad, so we are okay Hindi wise, but I know where you're coming from. My mom asked me the same question, what does that mean? So I'm with you on that. So these are the three words, and how does that relate to your stories?
No, I think the every in the initial stage we should get every entrepreneur should be ready to get their hand dirty. Lot of people finish the college and after that they want immediately which company I am working in, which car is picking up. This becomes far more important. I think initially get ready to get your hand dirty. That is how you can really learn. And that is the first phase. Whoever has missed that, life will keep on come and teaching. It will keep on pushing because in subject, if you finish one subject, you can go to the next level. Life teaches very differently. If you don't learn that lesson, the same subject will come from different form. For example, when I was doing my earlier business, I was not good in finance. I was always very marketing oriented. And the finance lesson kept on haunting me from different stage. Then I started, hey, what is this balance sheet? What is the debit? What is credit? Then only I started this thing. One of my very humble suggestion to every academicians and also the people is, I think finance, business finance, the finance should be taught in schools.
Financial
We really
discipline and finance,
yeah,
absolutely.
finance is personal discipline, personal finance, business. I think we should know that. I think we have not been taught at all. Minus that, there is no point in gaining so many skills and suddenly losing out something. So life keeps on pushing you from different area, and that is how life teaches you. And life will push you when you are least prepared. I think Corona, you can't ask for a better example than Corona has come and done for all over the people in the world. But few have really taken it in their stride, and few countries, few people, and few companies and things like that. And that's all I can say. I think the life is not what happens to you; it is how you handle what happens to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So
And I'll take this opportunity to say I've had a fantastic evening talking to you. I was waiting to talk to you for a while now, and thank you. This happened today. I will shamelessly request you that someday I would like to come and say hello to you in person because I think there is 1 hour with you is just going to be so much learning for me personally as well. So thank you for
so many
coming on
people,
to the show.
yeah, so many people have taught us. As I told, my job is to pass on that knowledge and that experience to somebody else, and that will be useful for them. They will pass on, and that's how life continues.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time
Thank
today.
you. Thank you.
So, viewers, that was that fantastic episode. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. If you do, please share, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please share this. Let these lovely messages reach out to as many women entrepreneurs. If you really care for them, pass this on. Thank you. Until I come back with another episode next week. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.